Hello and welcome to The Insider, a show designed to clue you into the biggest news, events and announcements inside the video games industry, discussing with you some things you may know, some things you may not, and the glue that holds it all together is a little bit of my own opinion. My name is Paul James, thank you very much for watching, and let's get for the episode.
Is there something that we used to do that we could bring back that was more predictable so people could kind of think about the news that might come? And we're bringing back XO. We're bringing back XO this year.
So as of the moment this goes live, Microsoft's XO, in this year's form X018 event, is only 24 hours away. And as such, we're going to go through a few predictions as to what you can expect from the event this year. So we'll start things simple. We'll talk about the things that are the sure things, the things that have obviously already been confirmed to us, or that they're just reasonable assumptions. And there was a list that was kind of revealed by Xbox's Major Nelson, and he spoke about a few games that we can be rest assured certain are going to be at the Inside Xbox stage at X018. So the first name on that list is PUBG. The game's been huge, it's really popular, and apparently there's a whole bunch of new content coming. Apparently they've got some really big stuff, and they're going to be showing that off this weekend. There's also Sea of Thieves. We know a lot about the ongoing DLC plan for that game and the fact that there is lots of content coming over the course of the remainder of the year into 2019 and beyond. So it's reasonable to assume that we're going to see a fair bit there. They've stated it'll be there, it's just a matter of what will that content be. Same sort of idea for Forza Horizon 4. We're going to get a swath of new content there. To be expected, the games have been well supported over the last few years. Minecraft has got some sort of presence. That's an interesting one, because we know what Minecraft is. It's been the same thing for years and years now. It's still really popular. There's always this little bit of speculation about, are we getting a sequel? Is there a Minecraft 2? What happens with story mode, with all the stuff that's happened to Telltale? There's a few little questions there about this IP, and we're about due for something when it comes to Minecraft. It's not for me, but there's a lot of people that it is for. Then we've got State of Decay 2, a release from this year, a really popular release from this year. Our own Matt Hewson was a big fan of it, so go and check out what he had to say on the website. But we can probably expect to see a little bit of content about that too. Microsoft has been really bullish about supporting their titles that are already out there, that are already doing some cool things, and now seems like about the right period of time between release and a first wave of some significant DLC content. And then there's Crackdown 3, the only game of this list that hasn't released so far, but we've already kind of had it assured to us that we're going to be getting a lot of content about this game. Apparently it's going to be playable at the show floor in New Mexico. And that's awesome news, because there's been lots of question marks about this game over many years. It's been delayed so many times. It's now in that February 22nd release date. Maybe it gets a new release date similar to what happened to Days Gone. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that game, and there's a lot that we can learn about that game. So this is going to be a great showing for it.
Ducker! Crackdown 3!
So let's get into some of the predictions, some of the things that I'm speculating may transpire at X018. The first one is a Gears 5 blowout. We obviously saw a fair bit about the game when it was debuted at E3 2018 in the form of some gameplay and some CG, and I expect that we'll get a little bit more. This seems as though it's going to be Xbox's big tentpole game for 2019. So expect to see something for it, surely in some form, and if not that, maybe that RTS sort of game that's being developed from the Gears franchise, or the Gears Pop mobile game. I think something Gears is sure to show its face at this event, so stay tuned. Next up, I want to talk about Fable, and there's been a lot of speculation about the Fable IP for quite some time now, and for good reason. It's beloved, but it died when Lionhead died. The speculation is that Playground Games, or Playground Studios, the team responsible for Forza Horizon, were developing a second team responsible for RPGs. They are from that part of the world, that European English part of the world, and they have that sort of humour. And it's reasonable for us to expect at this point that they are doing something with the IP. It's just a matter of time as to when we're going to see it. We could be completely wrong, But Microsoft knows the importance of Fable, so I think it's just a matter of time. Hopefully X018 is that scenario where we see its glorious return. Next, speaking of studios that are being acquired by Microsoft, I want to talk about Obsidian. Now, I spoke about Obsidian in an Insider episode only a couple of weeks ago, and how important that was. And I think this might finally be the time where we get that official confirmation that they've joined the fold, and we might get a first little glimpse as to what it is they're going to be working on. The game's going to be a long way away. It may even belong on the next Xbox. But I think we'll get our first little tease as to what's going on, because they're a big name for Microsoft to be acquiring. So show them off a little bit. Next up, we're going to get a little tease as to something else from one of those studios that were picked up. It could just be Playground in the form of Fable, but we could expect to see something from Ninja Theory or one of those other teams that were picked up. It's not unreasonable to assume, hopefully we see something from them. Battletoads, it was announced. It's going to be a thing. Maybe we'll see something from that. That would be cool as well. And finally, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. My favourite Xbox game of PAX, in fact my favourite game of PAX Australia just last week, and feel free to go check out that Insider episode to hear me rave about it. But we're about due for a release date there. We know it's coming in 2019. I think it's an early, like a first half 2019 sort of release, so let's nail it down.
What did Katie tell you?
This is a wild game of survival.
Here are some more predictions for you. These are things that will not happen at X018. Firstly, Halo Infinite. It's more or less been confirmed to us already that Halo Infinite will not be present at X018. Why? That remains to be seen. I personally think it's just because the game's a long way off. They don't have any more to show than what we saw at E3 2018, and that's fine. If the other stuff I've spoken about comes to fruition, we've already got plenty from this event, and that doesn't even discuss third parties and a whole bunch of other things there. So why worry about Halo for now? Give it time, give 343 the time they need to develop the game that they want to develop, and release it when it's ready. And if that's next gen, fine. Speaking of next gen, let's talk about Project Scarlet, which is the code name at the moment for the next generation of Xbox. The fact that press companies, IGNs, your GameSpots, your Kotakus, all those sorts of people haven't even been getting invites for this event suggests that we're not getting that big, here's the next Xbox sort of show there, because if they were looking to do that, they'd want as many media representatives there as possible. The fact that they're not present, or they may be, but they weren't invited, suggests that there's not going to be that big groundbreaking, here's the next generation sort of moment. I think that's a reasonable assumption. We'll see what happens when it comes to that. And finally, the quadruple A game from Microsoft's new studio, The Initiative. The fact that it's still quoted as a quadruple A game and it's a new studio that's being formed tells us the game's a long way away. Probably next gen again. Don't get your hopes up. We're not going to be seeing anything from this game anytime soon. 8 AM Sunday, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. That is when you'll be able to watch the Microsoft X018 Inside Xbox conference. It'll be streamed online, it'll be available more or less everywhere, the official YouTube channel, Twitch, a whole bunch of other platforms. Be sure to go and check it out. It goes for about 2 hours. Surely they've got a lot to say. You don't just organise an event like this and kind of just phone it in. There's things in store here, and I can't wait to see what it is. The XO events have a great history of some big announcements, and it's been a long time since our last one, so I'm sure they're going to bring it back with a bang. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. All those buttons are down below here, and hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, The Insider, Player 2 Plays, The Late Game Review, Gamer School, and a whole lot more. There is some awesome content there, so please be sure to go and check it out. For written content, please visit the website player2.net.au, where you'll find reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, the Player 2 Writers Draft, links to a whole bunch of podcasts, including the Player 2 podcast, Dev Diary, and a whole lot more. There's some awesome content there, so please be sure to go and check it out. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, and kick in a few dollars. At the lower tiers, you'll get early access to episodes of this, Patched, and a whole lot more. At the higher tiers, you get monthly episode exclusives and the ability to join us in the monthly Player 2 podcast. You'll be helping the Player 2 dream come to fruition, so thank you in advance. For rolling updates, you can find me at PaulJamesP2 on Twitter, the website you'll find at Player2AU on Twitter, and until next time, that is X018 all wrapped up. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.